Yes?
This is too dangerous, whatever they want here. If we send spies and they get caught, Nerim will see this as a provocation.
Poor people. All they did was invade a foreign country, and look how ruthless we are, sending spies in order to find out why they're here. We should be ashamed.
Save the sarcasm. We both know what I mean. You know my opinion, Tila.
I will consider it. You come at the right time, Prophet. Commander, explain the situation.
Of course, Grandmaster. Yesterday, we received word from one of our outposts in Duneville. One of the fishermen there saw warships anchoring on an island some miles from shore. And they bear the Nerimese flag.
We have already sent scouts to confirm this, and it is true. The Nerimese have invaded our land. We have a suspicion. I suppose you know that the civil war in Nerim has ended 2 months ago. And who won it? The combined forces of the Northern and the Middle Realm, led by Taranor Korek of Kabait. The Southern rebels and the remnants of the Creator's Temple have been destroyed, once and for all. Now Nerim has been united under the banner of the Free People of Nerim, how they like to call themselves. And this could be the reason for these warships. Because of this Korek.
It is said that he helped Narathzul Aranthiel shortly before the Lightborn were slain. And while before that, he was an opportunist who changed his ideals as often as his underpants, it seems that his crusade with Narathzul converted him, so to speak. He has become a declared enemy of religion.
He also thinks of the death of the gods as the first step of many. And now he sees it his task to rid Vin of religion once and for all. Free the world from the scourge of faith. These are his words.
Though it is worth mentioning that his understanding of freeing includes mass executions and the burning down of temples. He's a fanatic, and worse, his men worship him for it. What he wants is to found a new world, and his free people of Nerim are supposed to be vanguard of it. Well, with the small but subtle difference that it was Narazul's vision to restore the human right of self-determination, and not to obliterate every kind of superstition or spirituality.
It is plain stupid to believe a way of thinking can be beaten out of someone's head with just enough violence. The only thing that does is radicalize. Though a world without religion would be a better one, that's without doubt.
Nonsense. The people need a higher power that guides them. You can see what chaos the death of the Lightborn brought on the world, and without your orders doing, all this would never have happened.
Of course. Where were we? Not much. Or... yes, there is. He's a narcissist. I was surprised to hear that the banners of his free people aren't ornamented with a picture of his and an inscription saying, "Praise me." Correct.
What Korek doesn't understand is that we're doing this to prevent a crisis. Not before the High Ones have been stopped. The civil war on Kile, Nerim, and Arazial shows what chaos such a revelation can cause, and we will not take this risk. That is the problem. Pigast?
We believe that Korek already knows about the cycle and the cleansing. And that he, how should I put it, wants it to happen. Well, I know how strange this sounds, but in a way it makes sense. For him, Enderal as the home of the Holy Order is the epitome of ignorance and stagnation. And we suppose he even knows that we are fighting these High Ones. But in his eyes, everything a paragon of the old order tries to prevent from happening must be something good. Maybe he even sees the High Ones as prophets of his new era. Who knows? Fanatics are unpredictable.
Right now, this is only an assumption, but we have to know. Yes. Do you know what a silver plate is? The ones I'm talking about are more. They are relics from Arktvent. What makes them unique is their power to transfer sound. Every plate has a counterpart, and if someone standing near one plate says something, the one standing near the other one hears it too. Our plan is to place 2 of the plates in their camp. That way we can sound them out without risk. You, Firespark, and the mercenary, Dalvarek. However, you cannot travel to the island by ship. That would be too conspicuous.
We found out that the Pyreans had some kind of underground transporting system. Under-trains, that's what they called them. These trains connected the most important regions of the realm with each other, and thus probably also the temple on the island where Korek's ships set anchor. If we can manage to find one of these trains, we could use them to get right to his camp. And, as it happens, we have information about a Pyrean temple in the Crystal Forest. One that is still intact enough for us to find a way into one of these trains.
The Living Temple.
That's how you call it, yes. But enough of the chit-chat. First of all, we need to find the gem that is used to open the gate of the temple. And I have a guess where we could find it. A village called Fogville, not far from the Whisperwood. As soon as possible. Joseph the mercenary has already traveled to Fogville, and you should do the same. I will meet you there.
So we are talking about accomplished facts, or what?
It is the only way. I'm sorry, Natara. Prophet, I'm counting on you. Find out why Korek is here.
Huh?
Huh?
Transcribe verse 80 100 times.
Now look at that. It's the Prodigy. Not much. We haven't yet heard from the keepers old Aranthiel sent overseas, but their armory and weapons seem to belong to an order of mercenaries who normally operate in Nerem or Kira. We'll see.
Remind me not to burst into tears.
Now look at that. Someone who's actually interested in us as people, rather than in our knowledge about the Pyreans. But it's your lucky day. I really wouldn't mind a good talk right now. Hold on a second. Arizalian Brandy. Vintage 8214. What do you say? A glass and a good talk? There are a couple of things I wanted to ask you anyway. All right then. When I hear you say that, I don't regret for a second that I never came back to Ostian. Even though I've thought about it from time to time. Wow. Finally, someone who says it up front. Yeah, I've got some Scarag blood in me, though comparably little in regards to how much it shows. My grandfather, he used to serve in the South Realms Marines. And one day they captured a ship of Scarag raiders, some of them women. Stories say he fell in love with one of them, and yeah, you can connect the dots. But to answer your original question, yes, I'm from Ostian. Though we fled the city around 10 years ago. The right choice, as I probably don't need to tell you. The temple was always a bunch of fanatical fuckheads, but that bastard High Priest Janus gave the word butcher an entirely new meaning. I know, and nah, I hardly know anything about her. Only that they were raiders and that she fled about 2 years after giving birth to me. Poor Grandpa. You should have seen how people reacted to the way I looked. Even as a kid, They always looked at me and my almond-shaped eyes as if they were expecting me to pull out a skull fetish any second and start putting curses on anyone in the vicinity. Maybe. Warriors of the Creator. War against the infidels. The Creator's children don't even sugarcoat how radical their faith is anymore. And still, so many people join their ranks. It's fucking insane. But then again, I guess that's religion for you. Don't think for yourself anymore. Let someone else do it for you. At least it was for my brother. I had. He was about 15 years older than me, and was always a troubled child. Rakul. That was his name. You know, my family was very wealthy before we fled. Drapers for generations. The best in Ostian. I suppose that's why my father expected so much from Rakul, since I, as a woman, wouldn't have been allowed to take over the business when my father would have retired. But Rakul, he just wasn't made out for it, you know? He was shy and introverted, and never had a hand for money. I can't remember how often father told him that he was a disgrace to the family. You could call it that, yes. Looking back, I think the temple only gave him what father wouldn't. A perspective. The feeling of being needed. He spent almost all of his time in the temple after his conversion, and knew the entire Rania, their holy scripture, by heart. Well, in one day, he announced that simply attending the masses wasn't enough anymore. He would join the temple's warriors. Damn right. That's what these bastards do. They exploit the vulnerability of people like him and indoctrinate them with their fucking bullshit. And once that's done, they send them to fight for their holy causes. In other words, their own interests, like pawns on a chessboard. And if they die, then they call it a fucking honor. I'm sorry, my dame. Your youngest son just died. But don't worry, he's in a better place now, eating grapes and drinking honey. What solace, isn't it? Now, do you have any other neglected children for us? We're running short on material. Damn it, I hate those bastards. Just hate them so much. He was slaughtered, hacked into pieces by Chancellor Baratheon's cavalry. That was before the peace treaty. I'd be surprised if they taught him what end of a lance to stab with before they sent him into the field. But, well, I guess that answers the question you asked me up in the temple, doesn't it? I was sick of seeing people using religion for their own ends. Creator, Lightborn, the Great Spirit. Same shit, different name. And you know what? No matter how much chaos the death of the gods caused, I don't regret being a part of it, not in the least. It was the right thing to do. Anyway, I'd say we call it quits for now, okay? It was good talking to you, but I'm dying for a nap. Take care.
Between cobblestone and excretion. Between.
Hear my words, O path of fighting people of this
Can I help you?
Yes? Well, there comes a point when you just have
Walk
to live
blessed,
with it.
friend. Sure. Where to?
so much to do.
Blasted blistering blazes! What the heck took you so long? We've been waiting for ages.
But you only just...
What matters now is that we find the gem that opens the temple doors. You two take care of that. I'll go ahead to the temple and inspect the gate. Any questions? No? Then beat it.
It helps to know what something looks like if you're supposed to find it. At least that's what I've been told.
I already told you that. A small red gem. If it's around here somewhere, and I'm quite certain it is, you should maybe search for it at the village treasury. Now get going. I'll see you at the temple.
Well then, let's start our glorious search, shall we? I suggest you take a look at the town hall. I'll check out the temple. Just call me if you find something. Huh? About Fogville? Yeah, quite a lot actually. This story's always fascinated me. You haven't heard of it, I take it. What do you want to know? Yeah, and that's about what happened. How can I say this without going beyond the scope? The short version, the villagers lost their minds. It all started when they officially renounced Malthus and the righteous path. Then, more and more travelers started disappearing, and surprisingly, a lot of their corpses were found close to the village, dumped in the forest like slaughtered cattle. That was when the Order couldn't ignore this issue any longer and sent a division of guards to end the madness, whatever that's supposed to look like. But when these guards arrived, they were greeted by frenzied villagers, who were armed to the teeth and jumped on the guards like rabid dogs. Most of them were killed, but one made it back to the temple. Well, and that's almost the end of the story. When the guards returned, they were almost the size of an army, but still the villagers charged right at them. You can imagine the result. Yes, it was. It turned out they sacrificed them. Later, when the Order searched Fogville for what could have caused all this, they found a hidden hexagonal room in the temple, which looked like the Fogvillers built it themselves. It was strange. There were exactly 6 paintings, one on each wall, and they all depicted unholy scenes, whatever that may mean. Anyway, it seemed that the travelers were sacrificed there. Heck knows why. As I said, they were mad, and this is also how they fought, regardless of the consequences. Plus, this place isn't exactly easily charged. Just look at all the walls. It's almost a fortress. Well, the most common one is the proximity to the Whisperwood. We all know what these spores do to the human mind. So maybe unfavorable winds over several moons? Who knows? At least that's the official explanation. Some conspiracy theorists see a connection to the Butcher of Ark. Exactly. Strange guy, to say the least. You know, shortly before he killed himself, he left an autobiography. And even though the Order officially forbids owning it, there are collectors who established an entire cult around that Tannerson character. There's a lot of speculation going on about this entire myth, and some of it's quite bizarre and morbid, if you ask me. Anyway. Keep your chin up. That was quick. Any luck? Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Well, then I guess that means off to the temple. You ready? Good. Then lead the way. Huh? Keep your chin up. Never walked back on the road from the ancient man's abode. Ugh, blazes. Sorry. I know. I can't sing. Eager to explore, aren't you? Take your time, I'll wait. I can use a break anyway. Ah, there you are. Let's push on. And that's it. The Crystal Forest. Beautiful, isn't it? The temple should just be a few miles up the hill. Oh, it's an old legend. Apparently this temple has some kind of consciousness, so to speak. That's also the reason for the weird vegetation around here. Yep.